Hello, Cherries. Welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, episode 130. And in today's video, I'm going to answer all your Circle of Fifths comment questions. And I've gotten a lot of questions so far about the Circle of Fifths. And it's really simple, but I want to just kind of go over some of these comments because, really, I'm here to help you, and I want you to be able to learn this. It's easy, but I can understand how it could be slightly confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the first question. Let's switch screens right here and open up this first question here. And the first question is from Popo Brandon 2024. I wish I could understand this. Well, that is a great question. It's not really a question, but I feel your pain right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you just a quick little brief overview here of the Circle of Fifths before we move on to some other questions. So let's go back down to here, and we will we'll close up this question, and we'll go right here to the Circle of Fifths. And what we have here is looks like maybe it's a frisbee or something, or a pizza pie, or a steering wheel. What is that? It's the Circle of Fifths. And so we're gonna be in the key of C here. First, actually, I want to say hello to my friends here in the chat, but we will get right to the lesson in just a moment. And if you want to get right to it, I'll put a time stamp in the description saying when the lesson will start, which will be very briefly. But first, I want to say hello to Alba. Good afternoon. Give you a round of applause. Back over at the screen. Thank you for spending some time with me here today on Sunday. And Ozman, morning. Good morning. I'll give you a round of applause. Hopefully that's not too loud, my applause button right there. Scott Olson, happy Sunday. What are you guys drinking out there? I know it's beer o'clock somewhere. Paul Morrell, good morning, Cherry. I got my cherry cup right here, my mug. Drink some coffee, trying to stay awake. I had a gig last night. Got home at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Chords. All right. Must be like 9 a.m. over there. Where are you tuning in from? Let me know, guys, where you're coming from here. So, all right. So in case you missed the very beginning, basically, I'm showing some questions here, and the question being from Popo. I wish I could understand this. Are you from Mobile, Alabama, Paul? Awesome. Mobile, Alabama. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Right up there on the peninsula, right? And I grew up in Florida, but South Florida. So I wish I could understand this. So what I'm going to do for Popo here is I'm going to go back to the Circle of Fifths here. And, a lot of people are really just confused about this Circle of Fifths here, but really it is exactly what it says it is. It's a circle, and it's of fifths. So in that circle, going clockwise, all those notes are a fifth apart from each other. Hence the name Circle of Fifths. So if you look at it clockwise, C to G is a fifth, G to D is a fifth, D to A is a fifth. What do I mean by fifth? So if I play a C note here, if I go up the scale 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like a major scale. Or I'm not even going to go up the whole major scale, just the first 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a fifth. And you're always going to count the first note as 1. That's where a lot of people get confused. They jump up, they think that the next note is 1, but really the first note is 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth note is the G. And you'll see on the Circle of Fifths, the C goes to a G. That's the fifth note right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I started on G, I did the same scale and went up 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on a D, which is the next note in the circle. If I do the same thing on D, doing an octave below here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an A, the next note. If I do a fifth here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an E, the next note's an E. Here's an E here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's a B. Next note. If I do a B, it's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the D flat right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A flat. It's A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. F. And back to C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just went through the whole circle of fifths because it's fifths. If you go backwards, it's actually in fourths. If you went counterclockwise, C to F. So for you're just kind of going backwards. 1, 2, 3. There's an F. So it's the whole thing in reverse. So that's kind of a little bit of an explanation there. Actually, something else that'll make a little bit more sense out of it would be to show you this right here. The C major scale. There's no sharps, no flats, just letters. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And those are all numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that really works. It's just like that in every key. But we're doing it in C because it's probably the easiest, less confusing scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's that fifth again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll continue on because I'm going to show you the chords that relate to this. Now check this out. If you were to, let's see this right here. So the camera sitting on my cable here. Here's the C major scale. Going right up the neck on one string. You guys know do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, those are the 7 notes. So if you look at it another way, when people say, hey, what's a 1 note, what's a 4, what's a 5? Well, the uppercase Roman numerals are the major chords, are the major notes, and the lowercase are the minor. So if it's to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the root again. There are chords that relate to this as well. The C is the 1 chord, D minor is a 2 chord, E minor is a 3 chord, F major 4 chord, G 5 chord, A minor 6 chord, B half diminished, back to the root again. So hopefully you understand that. And let's go back to right here. We can see this chord's a little bit bigger. Here's a C chord, regular bar chord. I mean, you can play it like this as well. Then you have the 2 chord, which is the D minor. You can play it like this if we go to D minor. You have the 3 chord, it's minor. You can play it like this. You have the 4 chord, F. You can play it like this. There's a G. Play it like this. The A. You can play it here. The B. Half diminished. Play it here. And the C. Play it here. So you have, or this. So it's in harmony with each other. Sounds like the major scale, right? same in all keys, 1 through 7. So hopefully you're understanding this. That was a quick overview of the circle of fifths and how it works. Let's go back here to, we'll close this out right here if I can, if I know where I was. Close that out. So that's a quick overview, Papo, of which I can understand this. Now, let's go to the next question. Suzanne Meyer, who's a friend, she asked, why does 4 go in front of 1 and 5? Why does 4 go in front of 1 and 5 comes after? I understand that. I play piano a little, but did not understand what that was all about. That meaning my last video of the circle of fifths. Okay, so we're going to answer this question right here. Let's go right to this circle. And actually, we're going to go to this one right here. Or maybe we'll go to this one. Why does the F come before C and G? Well, and her question really was about the 4 chord right there, right? So why does 4 go in front of 1 and 5? Okay, F being the 4 chord, because let's count. C, D, E, F. So F is 4. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F. So why does it come before? Because the F is the 4, and counterclockwise would be fourths. C to F. The circle is the circle of fifths going clockwise, so G is a fifth above, so that's why the C is the parent key, and the next note to the right is the fifth, G. And why does the F come before? Because the F is the fourth away. So the circle of fourths would go counterclockwise. And yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Suzanne, why does the 4 go in front of the 1 and 5? I don't know, maybe it's a little confusing, but it seems logical, you know, when the circle of fourths goes before. So you got the F. Now really, if you look at it the other way, F would be before C because C is a fifth of F. So if you're in the key of F, a fifth would be the C. So here's an F note right here. Go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's C. Then B flat would be the fourth. Fourth. B flat. All right. So if you have any questions here in the live chat as well, let me know. I would love to, answer any questions if I can. And hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. I like Ruby stuff. Let me know how that chords is, Paul. I'm sure it's a lot more refreshing than my coffee here. All right. So let's see. Okay, so we got that. Hopefully we answered that question. And we'll close out this circle right here. Let's go to the next question here. Let's see what we got. Why is 1 between 4 and 5? This is from user 8330240055956. And okay, user. Hey, user. Why is 1 between 4 and 5? Well, I think some of these questions are going to be pretty much the same answer here. Why is 1 between 4 and 5? Because on the circle of fifths here, the 1 chord is that's the main parent key right there. And so it's in between because it's in between the 4th and the 5th. In the circle of fifths, the C goes to G for the 5th, and the circle of fourths, it would go backwards to the F. So that's just the way it is, because if you keep going all the way around the circle, it's 5th, 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 and eventually you get to a B flat note right there. You get to this B flat, and then a 5th from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is an F, eventually the F becomes a C again. If you do this all day, you'll end up at the C again. F. This one all around the circle, playing a scale to the fifth note. So that is why it's in the middle, because it is in between the fourth and the fifth in the circle that goes in fifths. Circle of fifths. It's called the circle of fifths for a reason, because it goes clockwise and every one of those notes are a fifth apart. And that's the outside ring. The inside ring is basically the relative, not basically. People call me out on saying basically a lot when it actually just is. It's just the way I talk. I just say basically. And it's not basically the same. It is the same thing. Those are relative minors within that small circle. So if you were to see C, then you see an A minor, the little A minor right below it. It's the same notes, related. Starting on the C note. But if I started on the A, same exact thing. Look, I can create a little loop. We'll have some fun. We'll play a little bit. I'll create a loop C to A minor. See if you can do this. A little cheesy little folk pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. A C chord. Play C major scale. And the A minor, same notes. Same notes. So it's relative, and that's the same thing for all of the notes around the circle. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I have a new toy here. It's my little boom arm, my Rode boom arm. That's pretty cool. But one thing I'm just noticing now, it's connected to my table, so every time I touch anything or the floor, I hear a boom. Do you hear that? Where it used to be on a mic stand. But I think I broke my toe kicking the thing. I kick it every time I walk by it. And I was like, I got to get this thing off the floor. So, all right. Hopefully this works out. It's, the newest technology we have going on here. Ozman. Jerry, not to get off the subject, but are there any videos of that tribute band you're in? Are you talking about which tribute band? I'm actually in a couple right now, but are you talking about the Huey Lewis, The Power of Love tribute? Yes. Just type in Power of Love tribute band into YouTube, and there's two videos. There's a promotional video that we made, and then there's a live from our first show ever, which we did last month. We did 2 shows, and this one was in Crossville, Tennessee, in there's a lot of it, a lot of footage. A couple songs are in there that you could see. So check that out. It's a live footage from that, and it's pretty good for a first show ever. It's not bad. So yeah, thank you for that. And we want to chat. We don't have to really stay completely on subject here. You know, we want to have a good time and talk about whatever. But the point of this is to answer these questions here and answer your questions and have a good time here on Sunday for a little while before you go out and breathe in some toxic air here in the Northeast, if that's where you are. You don't get that in Mobile, Alabama. But I have my have my air on, so it's sucking in the toxic air from the unfortunate fires over there in Canada. Yeah, pray for them guys over there. Hopefully everyone's safe. But I did have a headache for the last few days from the red skies at night. Scott, do you love the tone of your Les Paul as much as I do? I do. That's why I use it. I was gonna use the Telly today. I actually had it in my hand, and I was like, I love the Telly, but this thing's just really, I can't put it down. It's just so good. I know I might have to come down to Mobile, Alabama just to get out of the fire zone here. So, okay, we got a few more questions in here. See if I can find them. We'll back out of this circle. We'll go to the questions. Question number 3. Oh, we answered that already from user. And here's a great question. Isn't 145 CGA? Actually, D, E, F, G. No, it's not. You may think it is because you're not counting 1 as the 1. You're skipping it. So a lot of people would think C. If the next one will be a 1, you're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, C, D, E, F, G. It is. Oh, 1, 4. No, 1, 4, 5. It's 4. It would be C, F, G, because what they're doing is they're counting. They're not counting 1 as 1. So they're counting 1. So here's the 1. They're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and thinking that the G is the 4th note right there. When actually the 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the F would be the 4 note, and G would be 5. C, D, E, F, G. So that's probably the most common mistake that people make and they're confused about right there is what Don is asking. And 1, 4, 5 would be C, wouldn't it be? And then A would be 5. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. Yeah, if you don't count 1, if you skip and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But then what? What's C? 0? Going back down? If A is 5, it'd be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, D is not 1. C is 1. So count the 1. Don't forget about the 1. It's important. The chord is always the 1. Whatever you're on, it's 1. It starts at 1. It's not a matter of movement to 1. It's not like you're taking the first step to 1, which makes sense. That's the first step. You moved. That's 1 step. But really, it's 1 step from 1 to 2. Because you're always going to count the 1. Whatever note you're on is the 1. C, 1. If you're in the key of E, E is 1. If you're A is 1. If you're B, B is 1. Isn't 1, 4, 5 C, G, E? Nope. 1, 4, 5 is C, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 5. I know I just said that 10 times, but not to be a jerk. I just want to make sure that's clear. Alba, come to visit. Well, wait, I missed something here real quick before I get to Alba. Seafood, yeah. Get some good fresh seafood out there. What's the specialty out there? You got some yellowtail snapper out there. That's South Florida thing. Some crab legs. Is that Maryland? Some crab cakes. What do you got out there? Some shark. Come visit Vegas. Oh, I love going to Vegas. You do know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, though, right? So I'll take you up on that, man. Alba, am I wrong, but I never see you with the Les Paul when you perform with DU? Well, I hate to use the word wrong in there, but you are correctly right. You never do. Because this is a guitar. You know, I'm a guitar, 6-string guitar, slinger. And with Disco Unlimited, I play the bass. So I am the bass player where I'll play 4-string, usually longer. And I play with my fingers here. Of course, I wouldn't play it like that, but I'm a bass player in Disco Unlimited, where on this channel, it's pretty much all guitar. Out of close to 300 videos that I've made so far, all of them have been on guitar except for 2. I made 2 videos where I played bass. One of them is where I kind of go over the Ampeg plug-in that I use to record with. So I used the bass for that. And I did a video on Phil Chen, who was when he passed away a couple of years ago, or a year or so ago. Phil Chen was an amazing bass player that I knew a little bit. I've met. And he played with everybody. You know, he played with Rod Stewart. He played with Van Halen and Brian May. And we kept in touch through the years. And when he passed away, it was pretty sad. And so I did a video on one of his songs. He actually played the bass line in "Do You Think I'm Sexy" from Rod Stewart. So if you want to check that out, you know, I did a video on that. So I only made like 2 bass videos. I should do more because I am technically a bass player now. I'm getting pretty good at the bass, you know. I'll play some bass. Yeah, I'll play some bass. Shrimp oysters. Shrimp oysters. Wow. So shrimp and oysters, right? Or is this some strange combination that I'm not aware of? A shrimp oyster. You never know with the world today. Ever see those shrimp oysters? Well, they both sound delicious. Yes. Yes, meaning it's a shrimp oyster, or they're 2 separate things? Also, can you play something with a 1-4-5? Play something with a 1-4-5? Okay. Let's see. Let's close out this question for a second, and I will show you the 1-4-5. Here's a 1-4-5. How do we figure out what a 1-4-5 is? Well, we're looking at this chart, and we see we're in the key of C. We're going to stay in C today. And I just cleared out my looper. I use the Boss RC5 looper. It's a little red pedal, and I have a couple of things attached to it that really makes it easy to use. I made a video on that, the RC5. Check that out. And so it's really fun to use, to be able to just kind of come up with quick loops here on the fly. So 1-4-5 progression would be C, then F, then G. Twist and shout, that's right. What if I can get copyright claim for this, just playing these 3 chords? Let's do a little loop here with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scott. So I can play a major scale. I'll play all the chords in this key too if I wanted to. Every now and then I can throw in a minor scale. Then back to major. So it's not so vanilla. Make it minor. All right. We're rocking. We're having a good old time on a Sunday here. So, tasty licks. Thank you, Scott Olson. You were awesome. You were tasty. Question from Ozman. One question, Jerry. In a lot of the songs of the 50s, they use a C, A minor, F, G. How does that figure into that? Okay. It's a great question, Ozman. Great question. Let's keep the circle up here and keep your question up here for a sec there. C, A minor, F, G. It's a perfect example because I have highlighted 3 of those chords that you point out. The only one I didn't highlight is the A minor. And the A minor is the relative minor to the C, right there. Let's see if I'm tune here. Let's see. Bear with me, sir. Oh, there we go. Okay. A little bit better right there. So, yeah, it's a very common progression in the 50s music. It's a 1-6-4-5 progression. It's kind of like a like Earth Angel. Is that Earth Angel? Earth Angel, Earth Angel. So yeah, it's a 1-6-4-5 progression. Where you have the sixth chord is the A minor. So the C is the 1 chord. The 2 chord is the D minor. You'll see it if you go down and over, you see D minor, it's a 2. Then you'll see the E. So it's really all just the alphabet. If you could just if you can count to 7, you know this whole thing. C is 1, D is 2, and D, remember, D is lowercase right there. Actually, you know what else I can do to make this kind of cool? Maybe I could put both of these up right here. Yeah, so you can see it all right now. C is 1, and it's a major. So C is always going to be a major chord. D is going to be a minor chord. So that's that lowercase. So you see the minor, that's relative to F right there. So it's going to be relative to F. Here's the D minor. E is a minor chord. See it? The 3, that's 3. That's going to be relative to G. The F is a uppercase Roman numeral, so it's major. It's a 4 chord. Remember, 1, 4, 5 are major. The 2, the 3, the 6, and the 7 are minor. That 7, that B, is half diminished, which we'll talk about in a minute. F is major. The G, 5th chord, major. The A, minor. And the B, half diminished. And the C. So within all those chords, you could do so many different progressions. In the 50s, they have a very common progression. It's 1-6-4-5. So what's 1? C. What's 6? A. You see that over there, the A? 6. 4, F. G. Let's see. Hopefully you picked up on that. All right, doo-wah. Yeah, a lot of great stuff in the 50s. Man, I love me some Chuck Berry, some Little Richard, Jerry Lee, The Killer. I'll get into a lot of that. All right, so let's see. What else? We have more questions. A few more questions here. If you are enjoying this, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I have a little bit more, then I'll let you go. We're going a little bit over right here, but we want to finish some of these questions up. Here, so let's go back to here, back to our questions. We answered that one already. Why is 1 between 1 and 4? We answered that one just now. We got a couple more here. I'm really thirsty, but I should be drinking water, but I'm drinking coffee instead because, I don't know, I'm crazy like that. Plenty of time to drink water. Or chorus, whatever you want. All right, user 1915219676121 Tez. This is like an eye exam. I should do this with like one eye at a time. How does the F become the 4 chord? Well, like I said, a lot of these questions are going to be very similar to each other, but that's a good thing. Let's go over here and figure out why the F becomes a 4 chord. Because we'll start with C, and if we go to the left, if we go counterclockwise, it goes in fourths. And like I was just pointing out, you have the C is 1, D is 2. By the end of this lesson, you're going to be so sick of me saying the same thing. You're going to be like, Joe, we know this already. C is the 1, D is 2, E is 3, 4. Because it's the alphabet. F is the 4 chord, because if we continue down the alphabet, the musical alphabet only goes to G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that's it. But we're going to start with C, because that's the key we're in, C. We're not going to start with A. We could if we were in A, but we're just going to start with C. We're going to continue down the alphabet. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and guess what? It goes back to C again. B, C. C, D, E, F, G is the end, right? So then it goes to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's the end, goes to A, B, C. So if we started C, C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4. This is so easy, right? I feel like I'm such a genius for explaining this. But it's really so easy, so I can't be a genius. Darn. F is 4, and that is why. Hopefully that makes sense. How does F become the 4 chord? Well, F is the 4 chord of C. It's not always a 4 chord. F could be anything. F could be the 1 chord if you started, and then B. B, flat. That's a whole nother thing. You'll see that when you get into shapes and visuals that it's all the same right there. So hopefully user 612 Tez hopefully understood that. And okay. So let's go to another question right here. I think we have like 2 more questions. Excuse me. I have never understood 145, i.e., it was in the key of D. Why is G next to it in the circle? That's 3, the way I count. 145 would be D. Okay. So let's open up this circle again here, behind here. I never have understood 145. If it was the key of D, okay, why is G next to it on the circle? That's 3, the way I count. 145 would be D, A, B. So let's see. He's counting it. The way he's counting it would be D, A, B. I think that's similar to what we had before, where it wasn't counting the D as 1. So if it's D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, he's doing the same thing, my opinion. 605. You're skipping counting the D. You're jumping right to the E. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 would be, in your accounts, right there would be A would be 5 or 4, and B would be 5. But it's not that way, because they would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 would be on the 2. So really, you're not counting the D as 1. D is 1, E is 2, F is 3, G is 4, and A is 5. So that is the answer to your question. You're not counting, which is a common mistake that everyone makes. Not everyone, but a lot of people have. And got to count the first note, always. Don't leave it out. It's important. D, key of D, D is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've never understood the 145. Give you, why is G next to it on the circle? That's 3. See, that's 3, the way I count it. Okay, but if I move this out of the way a little bit, what do you mean by that's 3? That's 3, the way I count 1, 4, 5. 3. If it's D, 3. I don't quite understand. I count 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, if you follow the circle in fifths, it's always going to be the same every time. D, the next letter over, is going to be a fifth, because D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is A. Plus, that's what it says in the circle. And the circle is right. That circle, if it's correct, it's always going to be right. The A is always going to be a fifth of D. Till the day we, unfortunately, leave this planet. That's why I love music so much, too, is that it's very consistent in a ever-changing world. Music, you know. D is always going to be a D. in concert pitch at least, A is always going to be a 5 away from it. So this circle has never been more true, which is pretty awesome. So it's always going to be the 5th, and counterclockwise is always going to be the 4. So just accept it. It is that is what it is. The G is going to be a 4, A is going to be a 5, and the reason for that is because we're counting the root note first. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 5, A. So it's not D, A, B. D, A, B would be a 1, 5, 6. D, 5, to an A minor, which is a beautiful sounding chord progression. It's kind of like this. You can write a hit song right now. Watch. Here's your hit song. Sounds like it could be a Skinner song. And on the circle of fifths. The 1 chord to the A5 to the B minor 6. One thing that remains constant is the circle of fifths. Oh yeah, how I love the circle of fifths. Oh boy, woo! It's getting hot in here. Somebody's sawing. Hear that? That's how sensitive this mic is. There's a guy doing construction 2 blocks down. I could hear him right now. Do you hear it? Okay, so there you go, my opinion. I just wrote a song for you. You could have it. Just send me some royalties, and we'll be good with that. So, okay, so I have one more question here, and close that out. Close out your question. Thank you very much, my opinion. Thanks for all these questions. One more. Let's see what we got. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this one. This one I got from YouTube, and it's very, very small. And you're not going to be able to see that. You might be able to see it better than me. Let's see. Hey, I dig the lesson. Thanks. I've been playing for a long time. I'm just now trying to connect the theory. I'm curious, as a guitar player, do you remember all the keys or just a few popular ones? Also, why isn't the 7th chord in the circle? Well, that's a great question because, my last video was the 7 diatonic chords in the circle, and I didn't even talk about the 7th chord, so I'm so stupid. But today I did a little bit. I talked about that B half diminished chord. But the first part of your question is, thank you very much for digging the lesson. And you're playing guitar, and you're connecting. That's the cool thing about theory and stuff is that, you can connect what you already know. When you start off playing, you start learning riffs, and after a while, you start to see a lot of the similarities in music. And that's why, I'm able to learn a whole set of music pretty quickly because they're very common. They're very similar to each other. And apologize for that noise. That drilling is getting close. I don't know, maybe, I don't know what that, oh, someone's vacuuming in the hall. They picked a good time to vacuum. Okay, I wish they'd come into my house and vacuum. That'd be very helpful. But, so, as far as playing in different keys and everything, it's all basically the same, theoretically. And on piano, I think it's a lot easier to switch keys. On guitar, because of the positions, it's a little bit harder. But once you know the structure, or wherever, A major, G major, the chords are all the same. It's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, half diminished, major again. So it's really the same. If you're in G, it's for an E minor or E major. So really all the chords in the structure is the same. With guitar, it's a little bit harder because, if you're going to play like something that's really guitar, like a Van Halen song, and someone says, we're going to play that in E flat, that's going to be almost impossible because guitar songs are very guitar orientated, playing in certain keys. Guitar player's keys, key of E, key of D, open with, open chords, D, A, G, very common. They don't really play in E flat too much, E flat or A flat, because they're, a little bit more difficult to get those open strings. That's that sound right here where you're playing like a. Wanted to play open stuff like that. So, Schoolhouse Rock Circle of Fifths. Jerry, run with it. Schoolhouse Rock Circle of Fifths, for sure. All right, so I think we got that last question answered. All different keys and the seventh chord. All right, so basically, that seventh chord is a real weird one, because it's every key has its harmony with it, and you have C, D minor, E minor, F, G. So get in tune. Sometimes you gotta yank the string. G, A minor, B half diminished. Where is it on the circle? That's a question I always get a lot. So I'm going to show you where it is on the circle. Here it is. And here is the circle. Because I always explain it like a big slice of pizza, from C, F, G as it goes in. It's kind of like a slice of a pie. So where is the seventh? Well, the seventh is the B. So you'll see that each of the big letters has a corresponding small letter. That's the relative minor to it. And that seventh is right next to it. It's the B. And how do you figure that out? Well, just like the outer ring, everything's a circle of fifths. The inner ring's a circle of fifths as well. So A minor to E minor is a fifth. I'll play the minor scale, A minor. Doesn't matter, it could be either way. E. So what's a fifth from E minor? B. So that's always the seventh chord. So there's only seven. So you have C, D, E, F, G, A, and then B is outside of that slice. But don't really pay attention to the fact that it's that's B minor, because that's just what it's called. It's really going to be a B half diminished, which is still a minor. It's minor, like that. But it's got a flat 5 in it. So this note right here, it's going to be like that. It's a diminished sound. Which is a really cool sound. I really love the diminished sound. That note's not in it. You can do crazy stuff. So that's the B, half diminished chord. It's half diminished. Full diminished would be like this. That's a whole nother thing though right there. So that is the 7th chord. You could do that in any key. If you're in E, it's the same thing. E, you look at the G minor right there. What's G minor? What's a 5th from G minor? Or actually G sharp minor, sorry. There it is, D sharp. So that's the 7th of E. Half diminished. So another thing, if you go back to that B right here, half diminished, really what it is it's a harmony. It's like an inversion of the G 7th chord. Just dropped my pick, but I have a second one. See how G7 would be like this? Well, it's very similar to this. Almost sounds exactly the same. How it leads to a C. The 2-5-1 is very common progression. Be a D minor to a G to a C. Sounds like this. C. Now if I go for a 7, if I go 2-7-1, sounds very similar. 2-5-1. 2-7. It's very similar. I think that's why a lot of people don't really talk about it, because it's very similar to the G chord. And I love pizza too. I might even have some pizza today. Osman. All right, so we went over a little bit today. Wow, we're about the hour mark. So, all right, guys. So thank you very much for watching. You know, I do have a course, if you don't know that already. It's called the Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. I dive very deep into the circle of fifths in my course. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. I worked very hard on that course. I go over fretboard memorization so you can learn the fretboard really quick. The circle of fifths, which we're talking about. And then I get into blues soloing. And the course is filled with backing tracks and scale charts and everything. And, you know, check out that course. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll find it very helpful. So thank you for that. And, you know, I go live here every Sunday. I think that that next week I'll be going live as well. Same time, same bat station. You know, sometimes I got to miss Sundays, but I'll let you know. Right now, I'll tell you if I'm going to be able to do it next Sunday if I got to switch. Next Sunday is Father's Day, and I'll be able to do it. Yep. So the 18th, I'll be here. Yeah, I like it. I hate missing Sundays. I really want to be consistent on Sundays. So, all right. So, let's see. What else are we going to forget here? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Paul, Scott, Olson, Osman. You're all the best. It means so much to spend some time with me today and with you. And so definitely enjoy the rest of your day out here. It's beautiful out. And thank you, Alba, for hanging out. And you guys are really, really, really cool spending some time with me here today. And let's see. Just let me know in the comments section if you found this video useful, what questions you have about the circle of fifths. You know, there's 3 weeks in a row that I've been talking about the circle of fifths. Or is there any other ideas that you'd like me to discuss for next Sunday? What are we going to do next week? You know, so, all right. But enjoy the rest of your day. I did make a video on the circle of fifths where I basically give you all this information and more, everything you need to know about the circle of fifths in 7 minutes. So I'll put that video right up there. Check that out when you can. I love you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks for spending time with me. Peace. Be cool. Be kind. Be cherry. And I'll see you the next time. All right. Have fun.